Today's episode is brought to you by the best store in the universe. Thousands of shirts, but not really. Shop now and support the show at MaddoxRules.com. Welcome to the best debate in the universe. Every debate in the universe, from labor pains to hurricanes. With over 4 million downloads, I'm your host, Maddox. With me is the Rear Admiral of Tangents, Ron Babcock.
Thank you, Maddox.
And special guests this week, Robert Benfer and Nik Oldershaw.
Hello, guys.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Welcome back to the show. Guys, big debate this week. This is one that I think a lot of people have thought about. It's who's the best comedian? We're going to find out at the end of this episode, actually at the end of next week's episode, because that's when we have the results from the voting
Because
on the website.
that's how this podcast works.
Thank you, Ron, for the introduction. For the recap of how this podcast works. But the website's madcastmedia.com. That's where you go to vote. But first, we should introduce our guests this week. So Robert Benfer, please welcome back Robert to the show, and Nik Oldershaw.
Hello, everybody. Robert Benfer from YouTube.
Yes, from YouTube.
And newgrounds.com.
That's right, old school. And what was your old school Newgrounds name?
Knox.
Knox, that's right. And Nik,
Is that with a K?
Yeah.
With a K.
Like, a K-N?
K-N.
Wait, how else would Knox be spelled? Of course it would be.
Yeah, it's K-N-O-X.
Yeah, it's like
you do it wrong
like the
with
Ford.
an N.
K-N-O-X.
Yeah.
K-N-O-X. All right, so you now.
That's a very early internet, cool name. Like, those are the names you picked in, 2002.
Yeah, well, I mean, I joined Newgrounds when I was 13, and I thought, I'm like, what's a cool 4-letter name? And Knox.
I would have
with
been
a silent
called, like,
K.
The Shadow or
Yeah.
The Shaft.
I didn't know people were
or like
calling me
Hacky
that.
Sack 97.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
And Nik, you are a comedian.
I'm a stand-up comic in L.A.
That's right.
And I also have my own podcast, Coward Hour.
Coward Hour.
Coward
Hour. What's that
What's that all
about?
about?
It's me and this other comic from Philly, Brendan Crick. It's basically, for an hour each week, we just kind of delve into the worst memories from our past.
I love it.
Yeah, this week was very intense.
Is it sad that you guys have not yet run out of ideas for the podcast? Every week you keep oh no, I got one.
We just had this conversation. Every week we go to we just reached the 9th level of hell at this, and we know that there's more. We'll remember memories.
Is it mostly Brendan, though?
That I've blocked out. It is mostly Brendan. Brendan told 3 stories about vile shits that he's had this week, each one worse than the last. It was incredible.
Honestly,
Is that this podcast too?
No, I feel like I should have more cred for just never shitting my pants.
Yeah.
Except, well, hold on. As an adult,
Okay.
as a kid,
Me
come on,
too.
everything's fair. But I've never shit my pants. But I've come so fucking close. I've crested, so many times, and I haven't done it. And I feel like I should but you can't fucking. Nobody celebrates you for not shitting your pants.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
remember
it happens so many times.
I
so
actually
close.
think about that a lot as well.
Yeah.
shitting your pants.
Yeah, because all I eat is hot wings, and I drink a lot of beer.
That's right. Robert's
So
an
I'm
interesting dude. Robert's one of the most interesting. He's just an interesting dude. His content alone. For everyone, check out Robert's YouTube channel. How can they find you on YouTube?
You just search my name, Robert
Knox.
Benfer. No, not Knox.
not Knox anymore.
The Knox.
That's
No,
He's trying to shake that,
I'm
dude.
not the Knox anymore. You just search Robert
Yeah,
Benfer.
but if you search the Knox, you'll find
You're
him.
gonna find some good stuff. You're gonna find his best stuff.
You might still find me if you search Knox.
Actually, specifically search the Knox.
Robert the Knox. Search Robert the Knox, and my YouTube channel is probably going to come up.
The Knox is the video you hate, though.
No.
Your first video.
We're going to make sure that's not on the.
I'm gonna give the
on
link
YouTube.
to everyone in the chat.
Yep,
No,
that's what we're gonna watch. That's what we're gonna listen to.
But no, my YouTube channel is just my name, Robert Benfer.
Robert Benfer.
Benfer.
That's right. Second time on the show. Welcome back, Robert. And Robert's sketches are so funny. They're so surreal.
Or you can just search Ice Cave.
Ice Cave.
'Cause
That's
that's
right.
the one that you like.
Yeah, that was a great
Yeah.
sketch. Is that the one where you confronted your dad in an ice cave?
Yeah, that's
Weird-
the one where I found my dad in an ice cave.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah,
I love
it. Was the beginning of a trilogy.
Now, Robert, a lot of times people think people like Robert, they're like these weird personalities off camera. But Robert, I gotta say, you're also kind of a weird dude, in life too. Because you, this is something I think
Keep
that's interesting
doling out
about
those
you.
compliments, Maddox.
Nah,
I think
dead
weird is
on.
a compliment.
You're
but,
also weird in real life.
yeah, because Robert really likes basic bitch hot dogs. That's right.
Just-
Oh, is that where you're
Straight up.
talking? Oh, I didn't know that's where you were going.
That's weird. Oh, where did you think I was going?
Well, what do you mean
I don't
by
know, I thought
basic?
you were going. I don't know.
Someplace dark.
What do you mean
I
by
don't wanna-
basic B hot dog?
So
Like hot dog, no condiments?
Mustard and sauerkraut. You make
Yeah.
fun of me.
yeah, I thought that was super weird that he gets something so normal.
I didn't judge you, buddy.
I did.
All right, guys. Well, we should start talking about the debate this week. Which
let's
is,
get into it.
Yeah, which is who is the best stand-up comic. But before we do, I want to hear everyone's buzzer. What, Rob? You're giggling over there.
Nothing. That's just not where I thought you were going when you were talking about how I'm like a weird person.
Where did you think I was gonna go?
I don't know. I don't want.
I didn't. I'm with Robert. I thought you were gonna just
Well,
address
where would you think
everything else about his life. That's insane.
Well, you know a lot more about me. Where would you think that
I don't know. Like you literally, like I know they say don't meet your heroes, and I became best friends with one of my heroes when I was like in middle school. And like if you've seen Robert's videos, he's exactly like that.
Yeah.
He is truly a bizarre guy, and he only eats like hot wings,
Yeah.
and beer.
And he's very svelte too. That's the thing about these both Nick and
I
Robert.
should look worse than I do.
You should look. You should be dead.
Yeah.
So before we get to the debate, I should mention that we're reading some super chats. This is a live show. We usually do them on Saturdays. Tonight we're doing it on Friday because Ron has to be out of town this weekend.
I go to a wedding.
Yeah, and we got a shit ton of voicemail about the wedding costs because we put that out to the fans.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We got a ton of those, and we got another Babcock tip after the
Absolutely. I
debate.
totally remembered that
Good.
we were doing that.
Good.
And I will remember what to say.
And I got some super chats in the chat room. If you guys have any super chats, we'll be reading those. We got one from Gianator, says Roncast Media Network. I like that.
Dude, people are going fucking. I never know if like we're getting made fun of or people are enjoying us.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the money.
Right.
Yeah. Anytime.
And we
That
got
does happen when I'm streaming, where like I'll get mad at somebody that's just being genuine.
Yeah.
Or not mad, but I'll be a dick to them.
Yeah.
Because I think they're being an asshole, but they're actually like, no, I
That
really.
happens to me all the time. And back in college, I would used to give people like a real compliment. And be like, hey man, I think that was like really cool. And they'd be like, I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not. And I'm like, I'm trying to be nice. And they're like,
Yeah.
I still don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
Right.
It was so difficult because everybody always thought you were joking, that it was very difficult to let somebody know when you were actually just being a real person. Because, truth be told, like they would say something and then you immediately make fun of them.
Yeah.
So people always have their guard up around you.
Oh, dude, when everything's a bit, I almost destroyed all my relationships in Baltimore just by always trying to be funny. Yeah. It's not good.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the hard thing about being in LA is everyone's always on, and it becomes exhausting because can you just like have a real conversation with me and not do a joke? But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the best comedians of all time. Oh, I was going to finish a few more super chats. We got another one from Gianator for $5 Canadian. Says, Ron, please let me kiss your pee-pee. And then a bunch of kissies. Says, I'm a loyal Ronette. Please kiss.
I think someone just called me a brunette lady.
And
I'm Hannah Gadsby, but I'm Hannah Gadsby.
Yeah, Nick's a pretty lady. And then we got one from Pavich Babbitt for $5. Says, Ron is the second best thing to happen to Madcast, second to Maddox. Oh, Pavich, what an ass kiss.
Damn.
Don't stop. Keep them coming. And one from Tiara Priest for Canadian $2 says, how about a sweet stash ride from old Uncle Ron?
You should make all these comments just like text to speech.
All right, guys, let's get into the debate.
Yeah,
No more
let's-
fucking around. Before we do, though, I want to hear everyone's buzzer. Here's what mine sounds like. And Rob. And Nick. And Ron. Trigger. There it is. If you hear a buzzer from anyone during this debate, that means we're just trying to interject. We're not even pointing out logical fallacies because I don't think there will be any on this episode where we're debating the best stand-up comic of all time. But Rob, as our repeat guest this week, I'm going to give you first stab at the debate. Who do you think the best stand-up comic is of all time?
I'm gonna go with Norm Macdonald.
Ooh, Norm Macdonald. Okay, that's a good one. That's a pretty strong candidate right out the gates. Why Norm Macdonald?
He's my favorite.
He's your favorite, huh? Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, what's
Yeah.
okay? But I mean,
See, I didn't want to be first.
explain to people because for people who aren't super familiar with Norm Macdonald, because a lot of people know him from like Saturday Night Live, and he did a couple movies.
Yeah.
What
Dirty
movies?
Work? Was it Dirty Work? Yeah.
Billy
He was in
Madison.
Billy Madison.
Good.
Yeah, we got. He was in The Animal, Dirty Work, Dr. Dolittle, Billy Madison.
A lot of people just know him now from his talk show appearances because they're all on YouTube now.
He also just started a new show on Netflix this last
Which I got a
couple days ago. And actually, the co-host on there is Adam Egett, who I used to work with at the Tempe Improv when I first started doing stand-up, and now books the Comedy Store.
Oh, very cool.
Done very well for himself, Mr. Adam Egett.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I think the number of people who are into Norm Macdonald, I would say that there is an equal number of people who are not anti-Norm Macdonald, but are definitely don't get it Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's a very polarizing figure.
I will say this: I didn't think Norm Macdonald was that funny until I saw his stand-up, and when his stand-up is just like a twinkly old man coming out and having a chat, and he just
Totally.
I mean, it's
and it's great. That's when Norm Macdonald really became a thing for me, because it seems like he has that old comic timing where it seems like he's not really telling jokes, and you're not really sure if he is, but they're super funny. And I still can't tell if it's material or it's just off the cuff. He's that good. I mean, that's a good quality, right, Ron? If a comic makes it seem like he's telling the joke for the first time, or it just comes to his head.
Oh yeah, just I
like jokes that just seem like insane rambling.
Yeah, and that's Norm Macdonald to a T. But
he's constantly surprising in the way he delivers. You're always surprised by his punchline.
Yeah, and you always think that the show's over, and he goes on for another 20 minutes.
And then what I also appreciate about him is that he just truly seems like he doesn't give a fuck.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's something must be so incredibly freeing watching someone who doesn't give a shit. It's like inspiring in a way.
Yeah, it seems like at some point
That's
in
one
his
of the
life,
things I like about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like at some point in his life he broke his mind, and it's not fixed, and it's just like the insane ramblings. Stan Morris in the chat room, thank you for joining. Stan says Norm Macdonald seems like a guy who did too much LSD. That's accurate, I think. Like it does seem like he broke his mind.
As a guy who did too much LSD, I definitely see that.
You've done okay.
Oh, I've done way too much LSD.
Okay, but your mind's not broken. I haven't seen your stand-up, Nick. But what kind of comedy do you? In fact, you know what? Let's talk about your.
I'll tell you
choice.
one thing.
Yeah.
Comedians love it when you ask them what kind of comedy they do. It's literally my favorite question.
I caught myself. I'm like, I'm not gonna ask. Okay.
I still don't know how to answer that question.
Neither do I, dude.
It's a shit question.
I don't know what.
Yeah. Jokes, traditional jokes, and then a little bit of puns sometimes. I don't know. Yeah, it's a shit. It's
I'm a
a shit
monkey
question.
dancing for nickels. What do you want?
But what I do want to ask Nick is, who is your comic choice of the best comedian of all time?
I had to mull it. I think it's Patrice O'Neill.
Ooh, Patrice O'Neill.
That's
Interesting.
such a
That's
good
a good
choice.
one.
That is such a good choice.
He's dead though, isn't he?
He died.
Died, right?
Was it from what did he have? Diabetes, and he went into a coma and died.
Yeah, from not taking care of himself
At all. Yeah.
He went over to London. It was so funny. So he had a sweet gig on The Office as a small player, but they loved him and they wanted him to keep coming back on the show. And then there was another guy who just was like, "Nah, man, I'm good." And he actually went over to England, and that's where he made his home. And he's this like giant black dude over in England, and nobody really knew him over there, and he just was fucking killing it. And there was such a pure art form about it for him. It didn't seem like he was in it for a massive to be known or massive. He just liked doing stand up, and I thought he was just absolutely amazing.
He actually said no to a lot of big offers because he didn't want to be that rich, and he also didn't want to sell out. But because you don't have a lot of specials to base that choice off of. I think he only had Elephant in the Room was the only official, and he had a half hour.
Dude, remember he came out Elephant in the Room? He came out and did crowd work in the first minute.
It's the first 10 minutes. He's just off the dome,
and he's just it's fucking incredible. Usually as a special, you come out, You've tested your jokes. You want to go out. I would never have the balls to do fucking crowd work as my fucking opener.
But that's why he's my pick, especially if you listen to him on Opie and Anthony episodes. You can search him on YouTube because he'll throw something out after thinking about it for 1 second. And often he's not really right, but then he'll reverse engineer the logic. After just saying this outrageous thing. And then 10 minutes later, you're like, I completely see his point. I can't disagree. I completely see his point.
It's the thing. A lot of people, again, he's kind of polarizing because I know I have a lot of female friends who fucking can't stand Patrice O'Neill.
Oh, yeah.
Because he said a lot of misogynistic stuff. But part of his comedy is the fact that he said something ridiculous. And the funny thing is that he will walk you through how he got there from a logical point.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, Maddox, you do some of the similar things.
Yeah, totally.
That's why people like you and why people listen to this podcast is... It's not saying ridiculous things that is funny. It's the justification that is the comedic part.
Yeah.
You could still disagree with it, but you're like, yeah, well, I see where you're coming from.
It's so crazy to hear somebody say something really glib and be like, he's got no basis for that at all. And then he does. He has so much basis for it.
I mean, yeah, that's some of the best. I mean, I remember a long time ago. I don't remember if you were on this episode or not, Ron, but I was arguing. I think maybe you were, or if it was Rucka, but I was arguing.
I guess we're all the same to you, the co-hosts.
Ron, or just
Ron,
our words.
Rucka, Taylor, Mikey, whatever.
Just people. But we had a guest on, and we were talking about history versus he was trashing my second book because he was like, "Oh, it's a picture book." I'm like, "Yeah, well, there's words in it too, shithead." And besides, what are What are pictures but just visual depictions of words? And by the way, it's no different than a history book if you think about it. History books are just words about pictures that were never taken. So, same shit. I basically wrote a history book. Get off my dick. So I have a Patrice O'Neal joke. This is from 11 years ago. Okay, so remember, this is a different era, but he went on Fox News and he was trying to justify jokes and talk about. Okay, this might not play.
Now that you've built it up.
I mean, you think it's okay to try to make jokes about rape? I'm diabetic. I make fun of that. I'm a victim. I might lose a toe. But I'm trying to make fun of it. I'm trying to make fun of anything I think I can make fun of. Sonia?
You know, what's happening now in the marketplace is deciding what's appropriate or what's not appropriate. I think the nation is just tired. There's a new mood in the nation.
What nation?
So this goes on for a while. Like there's another 3 minutes of this, but
Yeah.
But so Patrice O'Neal obviously not holding back punches, and this was the controversy. I don't even remember what this was, but I guess an Opie and Anthony bit went over the line. Oh, I'm sorry, Anthony and Opie, as she called them. But yeah, that was an old clip of Patrice O'Neal on Fox News. Hilarious to see that this is the actual debate they're having, and this woman just seemed like if you cast a curmudgeon against a comedian in a TV show or a movie, she'd be the perfect fit. Like she was just sitting there like, no, you can't joke about this.
Well, the commonality between the two choices so far of Patrice and Norm. Because I'm going to call them by their first names.
Sure.
They're both,
them.
very good friends.
Yeah.
No, it's the fact that both of them have absolutely no fear.
Yeah.
And it's something that I definitely don't. I have a lot of fear. So much fear.
Well,
but they have none whatsoever. And it's so entertaining to watch someone who just, I don't even want to say they don't give a fuck, because they do, but they just don't give a fuck about the repercussions. Like they will state what they think. And I guarantee you, probably hanging out with them as friends is probably the most exhausting thing in the world. But as entertainers, for an hour at a time, it's magical.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ron. I'll give you one of these and one of those, because I think that Patrice O'Neal comes from a different era, and he's no longer around. So who knows if he would be able to survive today's climate and culture and comedy in 2018. Whereas Norm Macdonald, we know for a fact, does have fear, because he recently apologized for some controversy because he stuck up for Rosie O'Donnell or Roseanne.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? So he did
just
apologize.
happened.
What's the controversy? Can you guys explain that? Because I didn't follow this at all. I just saw
more about that.
Norm Macdonald trending. Yeah, what happened, Nick?
So he was being interviewed. Was it the Hollywood Reporter? Some big. They were talking to him about the recent because Norm's been pretty outspoken about like Twitter mobs and where culture is going. And he just said, I feel bad. Louis and Roseanne. You say the victims went through something, but Louis and Roseanne went through something too that the victims didn't go through, which is admittedly a stupid thing to say. For sure, it's not very well thought out.
Where did you say that?
It was in some. I want to say it was the Hollywood Reporter. It was in some big interview. And then literally he got booted off his guest appearance on the Tonight Show, and the next day he went on The View, and it was like Norm, I've never seen him. He just cowed to the women on The View and was like, "I'm so sorry that I would ever say anything to offend anyone," which is insane to hear him say.
You know what we need is the female when someone says something racist, they always have to go on with Reverend Jesse Jackson, and that's not a thing anymore though. I haven't heard from Reverend Jesse Jackson in a long time. But what's the female version? Is it The View? Because you go on and you're like, okay, I said this insensitive thing, and now I'm here too. Because you said that's where
it's probably The View. Yeah, I think it is The View.
So Norm Macdonald actually went on there and apologized for defending Roseanne and Louis C.K. So, I mean, that's a controversial stance to take, to defend Louis C.K.
Yeah, for sure. It totally. But that's the weird thing about it, is Norm's always been controversial, and he's never cared, and it's never really come back to bite him, because I feel like if you're problematic all the way up, people can't really get. He never pretended to be politically correct or woke, but this time people came after him, dude.
You know, the problem is because Norm wasn't making a joke. He was actually trying to defend his comedian pals, Roseanne and Louis C.K., which, if you want to make that case, you're not going to do it in a tweet. It's going to have to be a much more thoughtful piece that gives consideration to all sides.
Well, it sounded just very glib the way. I remember this now that you bring it up, and it was just like, ooh, yeah, that's not going to sit well with people.
Well, do you think someone like Patrice O'Neal? Wait, who said Patrice O'Neal was their?
I said Patrice O'Neal was my pick.
So, Nick, do you think someone like Patrice O'Neal could exist in today's climate?
I think it would thrive.
I think he wouldn't apologize. It's like, there's also the thing. I mean, Norm's a white guy, so they're going to come after him extra hard. I feel like Patrice has a little more leeway. I know that I sound so insane.
I mean, no, Patrice, I feel like they would come after him, but that would be he would like, even a guy like that would go down swinging. I mean,
he wouldn't. He would never apologize.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I also don't think it's bad to apologize. Like, we look at this apology as like, oh, they apologize. I can't respect them anymore. Like, I think it's fine. People say stuff. They go over the line. I think that's the problem, is that we look at the apology as like this, like losing a war. I think it's okay for someone to apologize. It's just a matter of when the apology is authentic and when the apology is really just a way of them trying to make sure their new show doesn't get canceled or whatever.
Exactly. Right,
trying
right,
to save. It's not about saving face. It's about like saving dollars. You'd be like, well, I got to apologize. Otherwise, I'm really going to piss people off.
Right.
I'm not against apology. I think what Norm said was stupid. And I don't think there's any like way around that. But also the whole thing with Norm is he changes his beliefs every week. He just says stuff and then we'll like re-examine it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it's like old man Norm saying crazy shit again, like that's kind of funny. But the way he did, I think I agree with Ron. It was kind of glib and not a very thoughtful. There's a way to do it.
Say something like that. It's like, I understand the point you're trying to make, but if you're gonna try and make a point like that, you got to do it in more than like one sentence.
Yeah.
Like, saying that, not everyone is gonna be like, oh, you're right. I forgot about Louis and all this,
Yeah. We got some super chats from the chat room. We got one from Genator, says, for $5, says, Ron Babcock is the #1 comedian, a bunch of kisses. And Elizabeth,
dude, that guy's blowing through some money on this podcast. He's got some discretionary income to burn.
Or she, Genator, I'm not sure, Gianna maybe. Elizabeth for $5 says, Ron already won with his choice. Pavich Bavin for $2 says, stop looking at the chat and focus on the debate.
Yeah, I was doing that.
And Genator for another $5 says, stop with the debate. We want Ron only episode. Kisses.
I saw
Ron
that
is
one.
great than comedy. He transcends the art. Kisses.
Yeah,
Kisses.
Leave.
Yeah, this is a little
Genator wants that
uncomfortable.
mustache right, Unky Ronnie. Pavich Bavin for $5 says, so not even a mention of Amy Schumer. She's so brave and funny. And got another one from
We
Genator
still got you guys.
for $5. Ron is greater than women. And another one from Mike Pierce says, women are sex puppets. For $2.
I mean,
I should mention this. I'll tell you.
that could have been a lot
You
worse.
guys have
though.
such a well-balanced
They
fan
could have
base.
It's the best fans. I'll tell you who's a comedian I feel like today is brave, and this isn't my choice, but it's Ricky Gervais. I feel like Ricky Gervais is one of the few comedians who is unabashed. He doesn't apologize. He tells his jokes, but he's also very good. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that people don't understand. Like, the no apology thing it's great, but if you try to say a joke with the N-word, which by the way is like playing comedy on hard, right? You're jumping right into hard mode or nightmare mode using the N-word and trying to make like pedophile jokes and shit like that. It's possible. There's a way to do it. South Park does it well. Louis C.K. has done it in the past, but it's like playing comedy on hard mode or nightmare mode. And when you fuck up, that's when they apologize. But Ricky Gervais is a seasoned master comedian. Him, Tom Lennon is another person that would come to mind. Tom Lennon from Reno 911. Just an amazing comedian. I saw Tom Lennon perform comedy one time, and I forgot I was watching Tom Lennon. And I just watched this guy, and he doesn't do that thing that comedians do sometimes when their jokes bomb. They kind of play to the crowd. It's like, all right, I'll wait for the slow people to catch up with me. Like that. Yeah. Every joke lands. And he just moves on to the next joke because he knows it's going to kill. And I was watching Tom, and I was like, this guy needs a career in comedy. And I was like, oh, it's Tom Lennon. He's amazing. But anyway, good choice. Patrice O'Neill, Nick, and we have
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald, that's right. And Ron, who would you say your choice is?
I hate this question of a whole, like, who's your favorite comic? Because it's like, I don't know, man. It's like I actually like watching my peers, like people I know, like Kyle Kinane. Or like people like that, like Hampton Yount, like all these comics that like
great.
I see all the time in LA that I think are so fucking funny and such good writers.
So up and comers,
like Ahmed Barusha, Chris Garcia, like these are the people I really actively like watching, like Aparna, and so like, and I feel like as I do stand up, I've been doing stand up for like 14, 15 years. There's still so many CDs and specials, the greats. Like I have not listened to George Carlin's entire catalog, and I'm like afraid to mention that to other comics. Yeah. So it's difficult for me to be like, who's the greatest stand-up of all time? Like, I don't fucking know. I could tell you the comic that I like, that I think is, if you're going to go by the greatest of all time, I think it's a comic who has been able to adapt and change and also be productive, and it'll be probably a choice that's common, but I'm going to go with Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
yeah.
Okay, that's a good choice.
Because same thing from the Patrice O'Neal standpoint, I enjoy watching him because he'll say something and he'll put himself in a hole. He'll say something ridiculous and then he digs his way out of it.
Yeah.
And I like that because it's something I can't do. So I very much appreciate watching something do something like, or we both do stand-up comedy, but I can't do that kind of stand-up comedy. I'm too concerned with the audience liking me. And so I appreciate like his no fear approach to stand-up. I appreciate his productivity of how much he pumps stuff out. And what I like, and I've always liked him more than Louis, because I would watch even before all the scandal with Louis, I remember I would watch Louis' special and I would laugh my ass off, and at the end of it I would feel sad because his whole point, Louis' comedy is basically like everything turns to shit, so what's the point? And it's a very sad, negative view of the world. Bill Burr, on the other hand, is like everything's shit, but what the fuck do I know?
Huh.
And so he leaves you on more of an up note.
Yeah.
Where after every single Louis special, I was like depressed. And after every single Bill Burr special, I was like, oh, that was fun. And I would just go on with my life, even though his stuff is ridiculous. And he says that he goes back, he looks back on some of his old specials and he's like, yeah, I wouldn't do that joke today. And so I like the fact that he kind of like, he's like, yeah, I did that and it brought me to who I am. So I'm not going to like apologize for it.
Right.
But also I'm going to realize that I'm growing as a person. So I think I'm going to go with Bill Burr.
Bill Burr's a good choice. I like that choice a lot, and I do like that.
Also, white Irish guy. You know, I gotta go with my own people.
Yeah, that's right.
Has he ever gotten any trouble?
What's that?
Bill Burr?
Has he ever gotten in any trouble? Like,
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Probably.
Not major.
Well, he's come out and he
Hasn't
said
been
like
like
some of his old jokes don't hold up, and I think that's fair. If you do comedy over the course of several decades, culture changes over those decades. Like,
I mean, I'm so glad that there's like sets of mine from when I first started, like not online.
sure,
Oh yeah.
Like
I mean,
it would just be this is stuff that I did that I thought was funny at the time, but like when you first start out doing comedy, you're more concerned with you just get off on the fact that you got a reaction.
Right.
So you think you're saying something funny, but really you're just saying something outlandish because you're getting a reaction. And you're like, you kind of get off on the fact that you can cause a whole group of people to react a certain way. So it's like, it's not until you've been doing it a few years, you're like, oh, fuck, yeah, I got to actually be funny when I do this. So you like have to learn how to exercise that muscle.
Well, we got some super chats in the chat room. We got another one from Pavich Bowden for $2. Ron should do porn under the name Rod Bad Cock. Ron Badcock.
No one will ever get that.
We got another one from, let's see, we got one more super chat just came in. Says, have I given enough money to Ron to go on a date with me and give me a little kissy after? Gianator.
Physically uncomfortable.
Yeah.
how long have you been on this show, co-hosting?
This is the first time this has ever happened in the chat room. I've been co-hosting for 20 episodes?
Yeah, about something like that. Yeah.
This is
about
wild.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we should get to the real winner of tonight, the greatest stand-up comic of all time.
All right, what's yours?
All right, here's my choice, and this is an old one. His name is Stephen Wright. That's right, Stephen Wright.
That's a great choice.
Stephen Wright's fantastic.
Yeah,
He's so
a
funny.
fantastic choice.
Yeah. He's like the old school Mitch Hedberg. Mitch Hedberg and Stephen Wright, I feel like, had a similar style, where a lot of people might not remember Stephen Wright because he did most of his stand-up in the late 80s, early 90s, right?
Yeah, and the amount of work that goes into a one-liner set is just insane because you can't fill it with bullshit stories.
Yeah.
You have to fill it with punchlines.
It's all punchlines.
And if you watch his original set on Johnny Carson, and you see Johnny Carson losing his shit because he's the first comic, or one of the first comics, I think, who ever got waved over to the couch after his first set. That never fucking happened. So you could watch Stephen Wright do his set and wave him over, and you see Stephen Wright go, wait, what? And that was like, he sat down, and when that happened back then, that means you made it. You were made.
Yeah.
Overnight. You were a fucking star now.
Yeah.
When Johnny Carson, after his first set, he didn't do that to anybody. And you see him sitting down, and he's like, hey, you doing okay? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm doing fine. Like, because that was his, like, it just didn't fucking happen. YouTube it. It's fucking great.
Stephen, I didn't even know that. Thank you for sharing that, Ron. Stephen Wright is one of those comics where he'll do a joke, and it's almost like, imagine the most depressed person you've ever met telling you a joke. That's every Stephen Wright joke.
I like that.
I don't know. Is Stephen Wright alive?
Yes, he is alive. And I brought in one of his jokes.
Is he still doing stuff? I mean,
He has. I don't think he's done anything in a long time. He does like really weird, esoteric things every now and then. Like I remember seeing him on Conan O'Brien. He was promoting a weird like comedy sketch DVD that he produced, where he was it was a period piece where he's at the Civil War, and he was doing the narration of who's the guy who plays music on a battlefield, like a flute boy.
Flute boy.
The flute boy.
Flute boy, yeah, he was
boy.
like a flute boy
Oh,
during
we
the
all know.
Civil War, and he wrote in his journal, and he was reading his journal like how every day he would come out and play beautiful flute music to calm the nerves of his general, and then every now and then he'd play erratic flute music just to make him nervous. And you could see him running around, and the general's just sitting there getting more and more agitated and depressed and angry, and he's just going there and playing his mad flute. And I'm like, this is such a weird sketch.
bizarre.
Yeah, and it's done like almost like a Ken Burns documentary. You know, the old school. That was the Civil War documentaries.
Yeah.
Like a Ken Burns documentary. It's very bizarre. So, and Stephen Wright had these jokes where I think this is a Stephen Wright joke where he said, "Last night someone broke into my house and stole everything and replaced it with exact replicas."
the
like-
economy of words.
Yeah.
I just Googled Stephen Wright.
Yeah.
One of his jokes is, I intend to live forever. So far, so good.
That's a great
9
great
words.
joke. Yeah.
9 words, great joke. I mean, I don't follow him on Twitter, but like, it feels like that medium is made for him.
Yeah.
Is he on Twitter?
I don't know.
know. We should probably look him up.
Right
I feel like he's not for some reason.
I brought another Stephen Wright joke. His jokes are very, like you said, Ron, it's an efficiency of words.
Economy of
Stand
words,
up,
Maddox.
It's the economy of words. That's right, Ron. Listen to this.
I remember when I was 7, my grandmother said, "Stephen, come over here." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You know, you're over there. Now come over here." I said, "All right." And then she said, "Here's $10, and don't tell your mother that I'm giving this to you." And I said, "It'll cost you more than that."
Just a real nonsensical, weird joke, and that was like
great.
Steve Wright. I love Stephen Wright.
Everything's like, I do appreciate comics when they're not being dirty, but everything is tinged. It sounds like slightly dirty.
Yeah, could be. And Stephen Wright, and he, you know what's really great about Stephen Wright too, and I think all great comedians do this when they try really hard not to break. So when they do, it is so satisfying. And occasionally Stephen Wright will break, and it's so sad. And Stephen Colbert is like that too. Stephen Colbert, when he's doing his best material, he'll occasionally break, and it is just delightful to watch that because he's trying so hard to just get through a punchline.
Jimmy Fallon.
Fuck Jimmy.
When he breaks.
Jimmy Fallon is
Jimmy
all breaks.
fucking
He's never
Fallon.
not broken.
You want to change your answer to Jimmy Fallon? Best comedian?
I'm changing my answer to Jimmy Fallon.
There it is.
Oh,
Norm
the
Macdonald's
host of the
thrust.
Tonight
sake.
Show.
Iconic.
Jimmy Fallon.
My favorite
and his
SNL.
fucking like can't
Better
like,
than
you're a
Norm
goddamn
Macdonald. Also alive.
professional.
Oh.
Get through your fucking sketch.
I'm on the show tomorrow. What are you doing?
Are you
Sorry,
really-
buddy.
are you
Sorry,
really,
buddy.
Nick? You're
No,
not
I'm not on the
Get
Tonight
outta here.
Show. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the Tonight Show on Saturday.
We got some super chats. Tiara Priest says, "Cut me with your jawline, Daddy Ron."
It's
You know
Jimmy
what?
Fallon now. Vote for Jimmy Fallon.
Chris DeBoy says, "How about our patron saint of coleslaw, Emo Phillips?" Oh, Emo Phillips. He's like the weird guy who does the weird songs, right? Is that Emo
Yeah,
Phillips?
Emo Phillips used to hang out at the Improv Olympic West before it closed down on Hollywood Boulevard every Sunday for top story, and he would come to every single show. And it was a topical news show, like sketches and stuff, and they'd have one stand up, and so it's kind of like an SNL, except you'd have a stand up set in between, and he would you always knew you had a good set if after your set Emo would come up and be like, "I thought your set was very good. Would you like a drink?" And he would buy you a drink. And when I first moved to LA, I did it, and I actually loved Emo Phillips growing up. So I was like, I thought
Wow.
that's fucking cool.
He
like,
bought you a drink?
Yeah.
Well, he was like, "I'd like to buy you a drink," and I was
Wow.
like, and I went, "Yeah, all right." But I was also like at the point where I was super poor, and I realized I thought everybody was poor, so I never wanted anyone to like cost anybody money. So I went, I'll just take a PBR, and he went, "Are you sure?" And I went, yeah. And he's like, "All right." He's like, "You sure you don't want anything else?" I'm like, "No, I'll just have the $2 PBR special."
Yeah, man, PBR is such shit beer, man. I got a quick aside on PBR. So the first time PBR Pabst Blue Ribbon, right? The hipster beer It's like the number one hipster beer. I went to a party one time, and they had this big bucket of, it's like kind of a hipstery party.
PBR should just be called like future shits.
Yeah.
All it does is make me shit.
Oh, it's awful. So I saw this giant bucket of beer, and I'm like, oh, PBR, I've never tried this before. I reach into the bucket, crack one open, take a sip, spit it out, because I thought I accidentally drank the ice water at the rim of the can that from the bucket, and then I took another. I made sure to wipe it with my shirt, take all the ice water out from around the rim, and I took another sip. I'm like, oh my god, that's the beer. It tastes so bad.
You're supposed to be listening. You can't just drink. You're supposed to be listening to Father John Misty while you drink PBR. That's the only way it works. You have to listen to some band 5 people have heard of.
Or you listen to you need to do is you'd have a couple good beers. And then by the time you're drunk, then you switch over to the super light beer. Like,
That's how I do it.
yeah, Robert,
No, it
you
does-
drink and eat a lot of wings, so like
Yeah.
your shitty beer.
Yeah. No, PBR just makes me feel bad. It's like Rolling Rock. It just gives me a headache.
Rolling Rock is
And
garbage.
then I shit
Hey,
foam.
man.
I shit foam the next day.
Respect for Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
You know what? You know what's a real
Like you-
shit? You know what's a real shit beer is Newcastle. Oh, the worst though, fucking
Never.
Corona. Corona tastes like motor oil. I can't drink that shit. It's so bad.
Baltimore has the worst beer. We're proud of how. Have you guys ever had Natty Bo?
Oh yeah,
I've heard of it. No.
It's like a $2 beer. We're proud of how bad it is.
dude, you should. Pittsburgh has Iron City.
Iron
Yeah.
City sucks.
That's a real
Yeah.
fucking headache maker.
I remember I went to Pittsburgh during a book tour, and this lady just like kept buying me beers, and she's like, and they're dollar beers, and she's like, here you go, it's all on me. I'm like, great, and she just kept buying beer after beer after beer. I just was going to the bathroom and pouring them out because I'm like, I don't want to, I don't know, I can't keep drinking.
My biggest pet peeve is when people like it's a $1 beer night and they buy you a beer and they think that they're doing you a fucking favor.
Yeah, you get the next round.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
they're like, I bought you all this beer, man.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you spent $5.
Here, have a pizza with it.
Yeah.
We got a couple more super chats. We got one from Gianators for $5. Says, I'm a man, but you can impregnate me, please, Ronnie baby kisses.
I don't think we should podcast
I
on
keep looking
Friday
at the
nights
chat,
anymore.
but I'm just saying.
We got
People
another one.
are fucking insane on a Friday night.
Oh, this is nuts. And we got another one from Gianator. Says, I'll blow your flute, Ron, kisses. And then we got another one from Gianator, and I'm not going to read that one. Okay. Okay, let's move on, guys. So, again, madcastmedia.com is where you vote on these. We're going to have the results of the vote next week. The choices, again, are you really going to Jimmy Fallon, Rob?
I gotta stay with
Norm
Macdonald.
McDonald. Okay, we got Norm McDonald, Patrice O'Neill, Bill Burr, and Stephen Wright. Those are your choices, guys. Don't forget to vote. Madcastmedia.com. But we should move on. We have a recap of last week's debate, guys. Last week we debated, should you become a writer? We had the excellent Michael Tabb on. I thought he was such a great
Dude, that
guest.
was a very fun episode.
Yeah.
It was just like a guy who was very passionate about he was able to talk about writing without sounding like a total fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Because most time you talk to people who talk about writing, you're just like, oh, just shut up.
And he was also very knowledgeable.
Yeah, new as shit.
I learned something. I wanted to just keep talking to him and pick his brain, ask him questions, because so there's something, I don't know.
I legitimately want to read his book.
Yeah, absolutely. I checked it out on Amazon too. We linked to it on madcastmedia.com. Check it out, guys. Oh, and we should talk about your wool balls in just a minute with your.
Oh my god, I love talking about my wool balls.
with your Babcock tip. But when I checked out, I wanted to ask Michael Tabb a question about screenwriting, which is there's a rule in Hollywood. I don't know, Nick, Rob, I don't know how much like actual screenwriting you guys do, but there's a rule of thumb that says don't put jokes in exposition. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah,
I haven't heard
exposition.
that either.
Exposition is the stuff you write in between the lines of dialogue and action. So it's basically like where you are in the scene, what the time of day, that sort of thing. And I do write jokes in exposition, knowing full well that they will never make it to the page. No, excuse me, they'll never make it to the screen. But I know that it still makes it more fun to read.
Absolutely.
That's what
Yeah.
Shane Black does. That was like what got Shane Black known in Hollywood in like the 80s. Is
Yeah.
he wrote jokes in the exposition.
Oh really?
Yeah. He would like.
Who's Shane Black?
He just directed. He wrote Lethal Weapon, Long Kiss Goodnight. He
Really?
directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Well, I always thought the jokes in exposition was a way for the screenwriter to kind of showcase
Me too.
their personality and a little window into how they view the world.
Yes.
I thought it was a great way of kind of conveying information. But why? What was the argument for not writing jokes in exposition?
Just a bunch of like fucking blowhards who are like, oh, it's never going to make it onto the screen, so don't waste your time. Don't waste
To
your
me,
time.
that's a bunch of people who don't have a lot of jokes.
Yes. They're trying to make your script less fun.
Like it's because it's like for people who just talk in jokes, it's like Yeah, it's like when you meet somebody who has an idea. And I'm always amazed by people who have an idea that like you're pitching in a room. Right. And they've never had this idea before, ever. It just came to them. And then not everybody in the room is like into it, and they keep trying to sell you on that idea. It's because they're afraid they're never going to have another good idea again. And it's like, dude, you have to trust that all you are ideas. And most of them aren't good, because it goes back to my theory that most things aren't good.
Right.
But so you just have to trust in the process. And the people who are so adamant about their ideas are just at their core insecure people who don't trust themselves to keep coming up with ideas.
Amen to that.
Nice.
And also people who use the excuse like, well, there are no new ideas. That's the biggest cop-out I've ever heard, because it's just like people surrendering, just resigning to the fact that they're not going to come up with anything. But anyway, guys, we had the debate, should you become a writer? And with 69% of the vote,
Nice.
no. Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer.
I agree wholeheartedly. And
it's episodes like these.
know why
It's episodes like these where the super chat is going off that I honestly miss Taylor, because he used to get all this shit.
Taylor, the super chats?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a super chat from Mike Pierce for $5. Says, Stan is being shy. Tell him to show his dick. And then we got another
Stan?
one from Chris DuBois. Says, fuck you, Natty Bo is pretty good for drinking beer.
Who's Stan?
Stan Morris. Stan Morris is one of the moderators in the chat room. He has a news station, an NEA report from Arkansas, Northeastern Arkansas report. Stan is a fantastic.
Stan read the latest article, thought it was great. Just tweeted at me this latest one he's been working on. Pretty good.
Stan is fantastic. Stan has done pieces. I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, but he did a piece a while back where this guy was arrested and hassled by the police in his little town in Arkansas. And the police just were being assholes to this dude, needlessly rough, just pushing him around, bullying this guy. And then the guy said, I haven't done anything. I'm not provoking you guys. And the police lied. And if it weren't for Stan's report, this guy lost everything. He lost his job. He lost his wife. The town turned on him. The town hated him. Stan did this report that exonerated this guy. Fucking badass.
All right, so wait, but these guys want to see his dick?
That's right, Nick.
This incredible guy?
You know, like we all do stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, there are people out there in the world who are doing things that actually like matter and will change the world. So, but let's get back to the results of the votes on whether you should be a writer.
Yeah. Who wants to play make-believe professionally?
Yeah. Well, we got another super chat. Said, from Pavich Bavin for $5 says, will Ron take his shirt off if he drinks more beers?
No.
Nope, doesn't. No, not even a little chance.
No, I'm still at the age of my fitness journey where I feel like I have to apologize when I take off my shirt.
Yeah, I mean it's always better to apologize. We got another one from Gianator. Says, how much money do we have to pay to get Maddox to kiss Ron on his beautiful lips? Oh boy, this is all right. Well, we got another vote last week. So Ron, last week we had the first ever Babcock tip.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I put the vote to the audience. I said, are you going to try Ron's tip? And with 52%, yes!
Yes!
Congratulations, Ron.
That's a fucking win!
What was it? What was the tip?
Wool dryer balls.
Wool dryer balls.
Instead of using dryer sheets or fabric softener and spending all that money each week, all those chemicals, you buy yourself a nice wool dryer balls. Don't pay more than $10, and you put them in your dryer, and it does the whole static cling thing, but without any chemicals. It decreases your amount of dryer time. Makes your clothes all fluffy and nice, especially your towels.
I gotta say, Ron, after that episode, I went out. I literally bought some dryer wool balls and lavender oil.
Yeah, and it's great. And you just put a little one drop of lavender oil on them, and it'll make your whole thing smell so much better than goddamn dryer sheets.
Yeah,
people use dryer sheets. I don't There's so much shit in that garbage.
I'm sure there is.
And it's it's a minute amount, but when you take all the stuff that they put things into, and you take a lifetime's worth of exposure to it, and then everyone's like, "Why does everyone die from cancer?" It's like, well, I don't know, man. Put two and two together.
I'll throw 5 dryer sheets. I'm not even kidding. I'll throw 5 dryer sheets in because I think it'll be better. I don't know why I think it'll be better.
Not good. It's not you just look up what's in dryer sheets, and then you tell me. It's all fucking garbage.
Bunch of bullshit. Okay, so Ron, before we go on, we have our second ever Babcock tip. Ron, what do you got for us this week?
All right, second ever Babcock tip. This tip isn't going to cost you any money.
Ooh,
this tip is actually going to prolong your life.
Oh, shit.
This tip will make you a better person. It'll make the world a better person. It's good for women, but to be honest, it's mostly for men.
I don't like it.
And the tip is donate blood.
Oh.
I do that.
Donate
You like that.
blood
That's one of your
every
favorite thing to
56 days. So the reason why
What's your
is
favorite thing to do?
men, we have a lot of iron in our blood, and we have a thing called hemoglobin. I like to call them hemogoblins. And
That's cute.
when
Ron.
they take a lot of space in your blood, and what happens is when you have a high iron content, when you have a lot of hemoglobins, your heart has to work harder. Has to work harder at pumping your blood, so you're putting more strain on your heart. That's why so many men die of fucking heart attacks. But if you donate blood, and you can donate once every 56 days, you decrease the iron in your bloodstream. You decrease all those hemoglobins, so your blood flows more easily. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard. Now, women do this once every month, when they period it out.
Oh.
Men, we keep all our blood.
Yeah.
We keep all our blood inside, so we got to take ours out when we donate it. And the great thing is that once you donate a pint of blood, your body has to replace it. And as you get older, I don't think you understand what a fucking new pint of blood feels like. The day after I donate blood, I feel like I could punch God and get away with it. I have so much fucking energy. I just wake up and just start doing push-ups, and I don't stop. All right? So this is a great way of being healthy, and you're helping people.
So I gotta get rid of my blood, and I'll feel.
Gotta
better
get rid of your blood.
finally.
Get rid of your old, fatty-ass, weird-ass wing, cheap beer blood,
I need
Robert.
to get rid of a lot of stuff that's in me right now.
You
that
just
I
go
put in every
once
day.
every 2 months. You go and you donate blood. It's good for your heart. It's good for people. I once donated blood, and I donated at the Children's Hospital in L.A. A guy came in with his son, and it was like a little baby, and he was on his dad's shoulders, and he came in. He was like, "Hey, man, I just want to thank you for donating blood. Like, it really means a lot because it saved this guy's life right here." And the kid was like, "Thank you." And I was like, had way too much emotion hit me at 9:15 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And my girlfriend and I, we donate blood, and then afterwards we go out and get fried chicken. Also, if you get a beer, you'll be immediately drunk.
Ooh, that sounds okay. You're
Hey,
telling
that's
me
for you.
Now counterpoint though, Ron.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
One
Maddox, let me hear your counterpoint.
Well, it's not from me. It's from the chat room. Coffee Doctor says that sounds hella gay, Ron. What would you?
Come on, Ron.
What do you say? What do you have
making
to say
a good
about that,
point.
Shit.
Ron? Yeah.
Fuck. He got me.
Yeah, he's got a good point. Listen, guys, I want you to consider all sides of the debate when you vote this week on Ron's Babcock
Significantly less kissy kisses than we were getting earlier.
Yeah, there's not
no
one
kiss
kissy on that
emojis.
chat for donating blood. That's my tip. Be healthy, help people. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it actually helps out your health.
Well, and you save money on
Do you
getting
get money?
drunk.
Yeah, you save money on getting drunk because we'll go on. We'll get a beer afterwards, and we're immediately drunk.
No,
And they pay
but
you for your blood.
But they give you money.
No,
for blood.
they don't give you money for your blood. You in some places in Arizona, you could donate plasma, which you could do once
that's what I do.
every
That's
2
what he
weeks.
does.
But blood usually takes about. The whole donation process maybe takes like 40 minutes because you got to go in and sign some forms and answer a bunch of questions.
good.
The actual donation of the blood takes like 10 minutes.
I think
You
I
donate
messed my blood
plasma,
It takes.
it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, but you can do it twice a week out here.
You can
My
do
blood
it.
is no good.
It's fine.
I think it's just goo now. After what I've done with it and the way I live,
I once donated blood, and
and I need to get it out and get some new fresh blood in me.
They really have
Your
to.
body makes more blood.
your body makes more blood.
That's good.
Not Rob. I feel like Rob only has a limited supply. Like what you see is what you get.
You know, one time I
God,
donated blood.
I'm very weak all the time. Maybe I shouldn't get rid of any of my blood.
You should start drinking water once in a while.
He doesn't.
I had a glass of water in the
Well,
before the show.
you got to eat
was
before
great.
you donate blood. You got to have some food. And one time I donated, I ate Burger
You gotta
King.
get protein.
When I donated, it took a long time.
Takes a long ass
plasma.
time.
I donated plasma, and it took me longer than anybody else. And they told me that I had super fatty blood.
You can see it. You can actually the place where they like
the
separate
Burger King.
You can see like all the fat congealed in the tube.
Yeah,
It's so
I
gross.
kept clogging the machine. So
What? Gross, man.
it turns out I'm super fat on the inside.
Oh, fucking A. Well, we should get, speaking of fat, we got some voicemail.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. We got
Can't
this
wait to
guy.
hear these.
Last week we talked about the types of coffee that we drink. I don't even remember saying that I put anything in my coffee. I generally,
we talked a
cinnamon.
little bit about honey, and cinnamon.
And cinnamon, yeah. And so anyway, we got a call over about that. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox, I was just listening to the podcast and heard you guys talking about your coffee and all the bitch shit you guys put in there. You know what real men do? They drink it black, straight from the pot to the cup to the mouth. Tastes the same no matter where you go. So stop being a little bitch and drink it straight.
Interesting take.
Yeah, okay. I drink my coffee usually black, but if there's cinnamon, yeah, I'm gonna put a.
Do you know ever Kyle Kinane's joke about that? Is that why he drinks his coffee black?
Why?
He was out for breakfast once with his dad, and he started to put cream and sugar in his coffee, and his dad went, "Hey, why'd you put a dress on it while you're at it?" And so ever since then, he's like, "I just drink my coffee black."
Yeah, that's pretty funny. My dad's judge of manhood is to come up and hold your hands. He would always come up to my hands.
What, excuse me?
Well, he would look at my hands. He would look at both of my hands because he has workman's hands. Like his hands
calluses.
It's just like lumber. There's so much skin, like calloused skin on his hand. I feel like you could take a scalpel and like cut away probably a good centimeter and he wouldn't feel anything.
Holy shit!
Oh yeah,
That's how my feet are.
your feet are like that, Ron?
Yeah.
Yeah, you walk a lot.
A lot of flick. Yeah, I do.
So my dad comes up, looks at my like delicate typist hands, and he just goes, "Pussy," and he walks away. And I feel like I have pretty manly hands. I got fucking hairy as shit hands.
Yeah.
But I haven't worked with my hands my entire life, so I mean, not in the way that he did. Anyway, we got.
No, man, I get it, dude. Hard to live up to the fucking living in the shadow of your father is not easy.
Yeah. I don't mind. I think it's cool.
Oh, I think yeah.
Yeah, I got another voicemail from Olo. Listen to this, Olo on weddings.
Hey, Maddox, Ron. This is Olo. Just called to let you know that years ago I did exactly what you said on the last podcast. Me and my wife, we had a really small wedding. We only invited very close friends and family. We used our savings as down payment for a place to live instead. Smart choice.
Mm-hmm.
Mexican weddings cost from $5,000 to $10,000. Ours was under $1,400. I think spending a lot of money in a wedding is just trying to impress people, and spending a lot of money like a fucking idiot is not the way I want to impress anyone. So yeah, that's it. Keep up the good work and chinguense las ballenas.
All right, smart words from a smart man.
Yeah. Although, can you call back and let us know what mic you were using?
That sounded
Yeah.
really good.
That sounded fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Why did his voice sound like it? It sounded like an NPR station.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Olo's a super
Also,
talented guy.
probably had money left over from his wedding to spend on audio
Right?
equipment.
Yeah, he mastered it.
Still though, can you believe that's still pretty cheap if he went all out on a Mexican wedding?
$1,400. Yeah.
But $5,000 to $10,000 is that's so. If I told people that's what I was spending on my wedding,
Yeah.
if I was getting married, that's still so cheap.
Yeah, it's
You know?
super cheap.
That's
and
good
how
on
much
you,
You're
man.
supposed to spend at a wedding.
A lot.
I don't
Yeah,
know. Let's listen to the voicemails.
Yeah, we got a bunch of voicemails. Well, before
right.
we get to the other voicemails about wedding expenses, I talked last week about how when I was in Utah, I didn't have porn growing up. When I first came of age, I had to draw my own porn, and the only tools I had was Mario Paint. And so I drew my own porn because it was cheaper than using paper.
You didn't have scramble porn?
No, I had scramble porn too, but that was like a later thing that I discovered.
You're gonna make such a good grandpa one
Premier
day.
scramble porn.
I used to have to draw my porn. You kids today.
You guys
gonna be
Sorry, I
impressed.
interrupted.
So I got a voicemail about my Mario Paint porn. Listen to this.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Maddox, you hard yet, you Yoshi fucker? Does this song get you hard as shit? I bet when you got bored painting Yoshi massaging Mario's prostate with her dino eggs, you played that fly swatting minigame and imagined deep dicking the Hornet Queen. Whales are at least mammals. Go fuck one.
Oh my God. I got this like Pavlovian response to Mario Paint music. I get this like weird boner every time. Yeah, to answer your question, I got a boner, asshole. All right, so I got a bunch of voicemails about the cost of a wedding. I made a quick little montage. I didn't play all of
excellent.
them. Yeah,
Okay.
here's a montage of about 3 of them. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. When I had my wedding, it was about $15,000, but like 200 guests, and they all gave me money, at least $100 each.
Oh, nice.
So guess what? I walked away with a positive $20,000 or so.
Hey, Maddox, it's Papa Millennial. You guys are talking about weddings in Utah. It's about $3,000.
Hey, this is Steven in Seattle. Ron was asking about what some of the listeners might have spent on their weddings. So I got married back in February, and we spent almost no money. My wife wore a nice dress she already had. I wore a nice suit that I already had. I did spend $15 on a new pair of cufflinks because I'm not a savage. But then we had dinner at an Italian restaurant with, the 10 or so friends and family that we had there. And then we left a nice large Babcock tip for the server at the restaurant. And overall, we spent just about $300.
Hey, not too bad. Okay, I like those answers. All of those actually sound pretty reasonable. The 3,000 one, that's that's under the. I keep it under 5. And then the other guy made money on his wedding by.
I never really thought of that you're gonna get a lot of money from people.
Yeah.
You should charge people to come to your wedding.
What's that?
You should charge people to come to your wedding.
You do have to, kind of, because you typically cost money for people to like.
Yeah, the registry thing is a sham. Just give me an envelope with cold hard cash in it.
It sounds so. Well, now they call it like the honey pot. That's the nice way of putting. Just say, hey, just give us cash. Because a lot of people though, I think it's interesting to go through people's registries and see what you see. So you want the sterling silver toilet paper roll holder? Really? That's what you want?
I went to a wedding one time where they had a registry, and they, one of the, they just wanted some gift cards to this favorite furniture store of theirs. And I'm a very petty man. I went to this store and I was going to buy them $100 gift card or something. And I said, wait. What's the highest amount anyone has purchased from this registry? And they're like, $125. I said, make mine $126. And I wrote that in my card too. I was like, I hope you know I'm the highest paid person at your registry.
I would always, whenever anybody's registry, I would search for sheets. And then I would buy them sheets and have the note, think of me when you fuck up.
That's a great thing that's really funny.
Or towels, if they should use these after sex.
Wipe your junk with this.
Not like
shit.
you'd use your nice new towels on sex shit.
Yeah, no. I got yelled at one time for using this chick's towels. She's like, I just got those. I'm like, well, what do you want me to? What do you want me to use here?
Using them for sex, or using them just to dry off?
Just to clean up. Yeah, whatever. I'm the uncivilized one. You're the uncivilized one. That's what towels are for. Wipe the shit off. Chill out.
Chill out, babe.
Yeah, chill out, hottie.
And how did the second date go?
Yeah, we broke up. I got another voicemail. This is from The Real Christian Atheist, and it's just a very nice, sweet voicemail, and I rarely play these. The Real Christian Atheist. Yeah, listen to this.
Hey, Lord Maddox, it's me. Just wanted to say that I think you've been killing it the last, 5, 7 episodes where, I think they've been back-to-back, very entertaining, the guests are really into it, or Ron's even really into it, and he'll argue something.
What is he so surprised?
It's been really fun to watch, and it's great. So yeah, keep it up.
Even Ron, man.
That was very nice.
Even Ron.
It's okay.
Even Ron.
I mean, what's going on?
Real backhanded. And we got a nice voicemail, Ron, about your Babcock tip. This caller realized it was a 2-in-1 last week. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox, I just want to thank Bob Rancock for his ramrod tip. I gotta say, as soon as he talked about those lint balls, immediately I went to Amazon and purchased a pack of 6. Now, these babies are 100% wool from New Zealand, scent free, holy shit, hallelujah. On top of that, I can shove 2 of them down my pants, add a giant cucumber, and now I've got a Maddox Halloween costume for this season. Thanks, guys.
Did he call it
All
a
right,
ramrod
keep it
tip?
up. Later.
I think he was say Rob Bam.
Rob Bamcock or something like that. Yeah. Or Bob Ramcock.
Ramcock, that was
Bob
it.
Ramcock.
Nobody ever gets my fucking name right. Whenever I call him for tech support or any type of credit card representative, they always always mispronounce my name.
How? It's Ron.
Rob Bobek.
Rob?
Badcock.
That's not even... Badcock is funny.
Bacock. It's always they don't want to say something. I don't know what it is. They just don't want to say cock or something. It's weird.
That's what it is, yeah. I got another voicemail. Here's another nice comment from a ball buster. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox, so I know I shit on you a lot. Told you, shit lips and things like that. But, I think last debate was probably your best debate ever. Your argument was solid. Brought up a lot of really good points about comedy, and you actually changed my mind. So, props to you, man.
Hey, how about that?
Nice.
Jesus,
Actually,
man. I don't know what to do with all these nice
I
voicemails. They
know.
make me uncomfortable.
Well, don't worry. Here's another one from the same guy. Listen to this.
Somebody-
Yeah, he called back. He changed
Heaven
his
and hell,
mind.
dude.
Yeah, he listened to the Paul Flard episode. Listen to this.
Hey, yo, shit lips. I mean, Maddox, you're so fucking disgusting, dude. You don't even use deodorant, like, daily, and then you just straight out, like, burp in the middle of the episode. Oh, my God, dude, like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, couldn't leave it at the nice compliment.
His shit lips.
Oh, what an asshole. And then we got one last voicemail. So last week we played the voicemail of the guy who was busting our balls like, oh, you think going to 0 to 78 in 4 seconds fast, idiot. Well, here's a voicemail about that. Listen to this.
That guy's voicemail went from 0 to 78 in less than 2 seconds thanks to Maddox's editing.
Yeah, that's right. I remember I set
Oh,
up
yeah.
his voicemail. That's right. Anyway, guys, don't forget to vote
Real
on
deep cut. The voicemail on the fact that you sped him a voicemail from the previous.
yeah, like so you need 3 weeks of reference to get that, to get that joke. For regular listeners, that's
Worth
gonna be
it.
hilarious. Guys, don't forget to leave a voicemail. Go to madcastmedia.com. The voicemail number is at the bottom of every page. But we should move on to some quick news headlines. I've got some headlines, guys. A mysterious empty casket was left on the side of the road, and neighbors are spooked. This is another one of those.
Like it was. Why they gotta be spooked? They just gotta find an empty casket, man. When life gives you lemons, you know.
Yeah. Well, I guess you'd be spooked because where did the body go? Was there a body?
Why does there have to be a body?
Well, it was a regular Saturday for Akron, Ohio residents Heather Bailey, 29, and her husband, Matt Ulichny, 31. Guess they didn't have the same last name. Until all of a sudden it wasn't.
Wow, that's just good writing right there.
I love the copy on this. Until all of a sudden it wasn't. Ulichny was out running errands when he saw something that stopped him dead in his tracks. And they did put quotes around dead. Bailey told
That is
Insider.
incredible.
Yeah, this copy's so bad. Seemingly abandoned on the curb, or as Bailey called it, the Devil's Strip, in front of his house sat an abandoned casket. Perplexed, Bailey posted... Let's use an adjective.
Does this really happen?
Oh, yeah, that's a real thing.
Okay.
He posted pictures of what she's dubbed the trash casket to Facebook, and it's no surprise that the oddity went locally viral. So, didn't go viral.
At all. That's not viral.
Locally viral.
That's the opposite of viral.
12 people know about it.
Yeah, like her friend circle.
Next door was blowing up.
People, and this is the best part of this whole article, people quickly lob their best jokes in the comments.
Oh, let me hear them. What are their best jokes?
Yeah, well, prepare, guys, because we might have to change our answer for best comic of all time. Has anyone thought about vampires? One person suggested.
Has anyone thought about vampires?
That's a joke. Hey, guys, you ever think about vampires?
Oh, my God, dude.
And then another one says, coffin like new, only used once, message for details. Another joke. News, local news. This is exactly why my wife refuses to let me go to Costco, another person said.
That doesn't even make any sense.
What?
How does that make any sense?
I don't know. The casket will be sold at an antique show next month.
Wait, why?
Is that a joke? Or is that like
No, that's just
that's factual.
the article, yeah.
Wait, what? The casket that's famous for being abandoned and in this newspaper? That's
And
going to
it's-
fetch a
It
pretty
went
penny.
locally viral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
locally
huge
viral.
casket.
I still think about when I was on tour and I was in Summer, Ohio, and I was driving out of town, and I found next to a dumpster was a giant Rastafarian banana, and I still regret that I didn't pull over and take it.
Wait a second. I think I've seen this on the internet. The Rastafarian banana thing. Isn't that part of a meme? Like, I think Mega 64.
Probably it's this giant banana that has a Rastafarian, and it was in the garbage. And
Where
I
was
just-
this at?
Somewhere outside of fucking Cleveland or Columbus or something, like somewhere in Ohio. And I remember thinking I was like, I'm not gonna fucking take that. I'll take like a whole back seat.
Yeah.
And then I remember 100 miles away, I'm like, I can't believe I didn't take that fucking banana.
You could have done so much with it.
I think about the banana like once every 3 months.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I have the right image in my head. So it's a banana and then it has like dreads in the hat?
Yeah, dreads in a
Oh,
hat.
okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's like a hat on the tip and then dreads down the sides and then like little blazed eyes. because
What?
it's been, like,
And
smoking
how
itself.
big? How big is it?
I mean, it had to be at least like 4 to 5 feet tall.
What?
I mean, it was a big banana. It was like a banana you would win at a fair if you like knocked all the milk bottles over or something like that.
Oh, okay,
shit.
all
Like
right.
one of those, like one of the top prizes.
What an insane prop.
And the thing is, though, I'm thinking, I'm putting myself in your shoes. Would I pick up that banana? No, because it's probably covered in cum. Anything you find,
somebody's fucking that banana,
right?
You know what? Here's the thing. It was kind of raining.
Oh,
and I was like, do I want to put a fucking
wet banana,
ripe wet banana
that
in my car?
Someone at some point put a penis on.
Yeah,
on or in.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're throwing it away and not giving it away.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it's going to have a funky smell or something's off with it. Something's off with that banana. Well, guys, here's another headline. This is movie predictions that turned out to be true. There's like 30 of these. I only brought in a handful, but this is from Videodrome in 1983. What it predicted was YouTube, I guess.
Does
YouTube?
it? I've seen Videodrome a lot. I don't know if that...
Yeah, I don't know about that one either.
YouTube.
You've Got Mail in 1998 predicted online dating. I think online dating was a thing before You Got Mail.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, I remember. I mean,
also,
forever.
there was like
Where'd
video
you get
dating.
this list from?
Yeah, this is from MSNBC, or MSN.com, some bullshit. I Am Legend in 2007. What it predicted was comic book movies.
No, what it
Get
predicted...
the fuck out of
There's
here.
a Batman versus Superman poster in the background, but I think it's because they knew they were going to do that. They knew that was down the line.
Because that was a DC. No, that was a Dark Horse property.
Oh, I Am Legend was?
I Am Legend. I'm pretty sure it was Dark Horse.
It's so in one of the
I'm
shots.
pretty sure it's a Will Smith property. Fucking nerds.
The Truman Show from 1998. What it predicted was reality TV. No, I don't think so. Did it? Though, I mean, the first reality TV show was Road Rules, wasn't it? From MTV?
No, it's The Real World.
Or The Real World. That's right. What year did The Real World come out?
That was like, I think Truman Show came out after that.
There was some proto reality TV stuff before. Like there was stuff in the 90s. Oh, man, I just read an article about this, but I can't pull the name.
But MTV is largely credited as creating the reality TV genre and ruining television, and that was The Real World, right?
Yeah, so that was like the big real. Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure that predated the Truman Show.
Yeah, Truman Show was 98.
98, yeah. Back to the Future 2 in 1989 predicted Skype, self-lacing sneakers, and Google Glass.
We have self-lacing sneakers since when?
Because of Back to the Future.
Because of Back to the Future 2.
So that's,
Nike made it as kind of like, oh yeah, here's the thing from this movie.
Who wrote
kind of like
this list?
hoverboards.
This list is a fucking hoax.
It's a dipshit list, right? Well, here's one, and we will have to double check this because I don't know if it's true, but Idiocracy from 2005 predicted Donald Trump's presidency. Did it?
No. So the guy who gets elected is like a Donald Trump type.
Oh, Camacho? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, I mean,
bullshit.
Nah, like Camacho's way fucking cooler than Donald Trump.
Camacho's bad. I'd fucking vote for Camacho.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie.
That movie's so good.
I love that movie so hard.
That part where they're like Owen Wilson is in court and he's like trying to make a cogent argument. The other side stands up and goes, "Your Honor, this guy's a total homo." What was it, right? They're like, he's right. He is a homo.
That's awesome.
Like,
I love like welcome to Walmart. I love you.
Oh yeah, he's like, I went to college here. They're in Walmart.
Yeah.
Fuddruckers slowly
butt fuckers.
Transforms into butt fuckers. That movie was so on point. It's such a good. And then you know what's funny is I watch Pluto all the time.
That movie made me realize that I'm like, I'm super attracted to Maya Rudolph.
Who is she?
She's like the kind of the love interest in that movie.
Oh,
as like the prostitute in it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was like, I had no idea I had a Maya Rudolph thing until that movie, and then I was like, I totally got a Maya Rudolph thing.
It's pretty hot.
She also played keyboardist in The Rentals, which had Matt Sharp from the Weezer spin-off band.
Oh.
She's like a crazy good musician. She's one of those people who's like, so you're just good at everything.
Huh?
Nuts.
That like what's his name? Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Good at everything. Fucking A. Donald Glover recently, someone unearthed a clip of him as doing as a cameo in a Beastie Boys video.
Whoa.
And it was way before, and he looks exactly the same.
Yeah, he's not aging at all.
No, he's not aging it. He's good at everything. Like that Stephen Wright joke.
Yeah.
Living forever. He's doing all right so far.
Doing all right so far, that guy.
Anyway, we got one last headline. This is a man catches figure on camera he believes to be a ghost.
Kind of stuff we like.
I love this.
Yeah. Okay, well, listen to this. A personal trainer got the fright of his life when he filmed what he believes to be a ghost lurking in the window of a castle in England. Huh? How about that? Okay. Tony Ferguson, 33 years old. This is a miracle run. He first believed he was a victim of a prank when he noticed something moving in the video he took while at Hearst Castle in Hampshire on September 8th. Ferguson said he believed the figure to be a spirit of a former castle caretaker whom he encountered during a previous visit to the castle.
A lot of speculation. He's throwing a lot of speculations out there.
Well, what do you guys think it is?
Anything else. Anything else.
You guys being assholes.
There it goes.
Last time I visited, it appeared like a white mist, but this time it obviously had the energy to actually take form, Ferguson said. I was asking it to show itself, and this white mist flew straight at my camera. You can see it almost reaching out like a hand.
Dude, huh? I love whenever somebody says this, then you watch the video, and it's like it's the most low-def video you've ever seen, and nothing happens. And then they put like a green circle around the middle. It's like, oh, see, it's like pixels. It's all I can't. It's just big pixels. There's no way it's anything.
Where did you find that?
Yeah, we got to see the video.
Where's the video
This
at?
was on some news website. Here, what was it?
Just at some news website.
I feel like Taylor
New York
would
Times.
actually try and find real news. And where are you finding? I feel like you're scrolling to the bottom of CNN to where they do that paid advertisement. It's like, you won't believe the photos from World War II here.
Oh, yeah.
And then you click on them, and you got to click through like 37 fucking pages to get to this like super slow.
It's like,
who fucking clicks that shit?
Here's some news from this week. Gym trainers hate this man. It's just like, that's not.
Doctors tell you never to eat this, and it's like this picture of a banana with a knife or something.
Yeah.
And it's like the weird clickbaitiest bullshit.
Okay, I was gonna
The
maybe.
movie list is like, I can't believe that was somebody's job to write that.
You know what? Since you guys are busting my balls so much, I'm not going to read one weird tip to get rid of bunions by putting onions in your sock. I'm not going to read that story. I'm not going to read the story.
Well, we already got the tip. It was in the headline.
I was going to read this headline about this weird thing that dentists hate. I feel like my stories are on par with what Taylor brought in.
I don't know. Taylor would always be like, in Malaysia, there was a small but important chief who discovered that the pig was also the priest. Or like, you always have this like great vocal intonation.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I feel guys, you know what? Vote in the chat room right now on whether or not my news is on par with Taylor. I think it's, vote.
It's not on
I
par
don't know
with
who Taylor is.
Type 1 if
Who's
you
Taylor?
think that I'm doing a good job, and type the first 16 digits to pi if you don't. All right, we should wrap this up. I got a few more super chats. We got one from Moros for $5. Says, Ron, my balls need to be more wet, not drier.
Dude, Gianator, you need to be better with your money. He has spent like $50 on this chat.
Keep it coming, Gianator. We got another one says, we got Ronnie, baby, my pee-pee is hard, please help. And we got another one from Ronnie from Gianator for $2. Says, I'm in the office. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
It looks like they like your news.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, everyone in the chat room's typing in mostly ones I see. We got 1911. That counts as 2 votes for me. We only got the first 5 digits of pi from Moros. That doesn't count. We got another super chat from Gianator. Says, Ron, I have a micro pee-pee. Is that going to be okay, baby boy? And we got one from Pavich Bavin for $2. Says, Maddox News is supreme. Thank you, Pavich Bavin. A real hero. A real friend, Pavich Bavin.
Babcock Nation is going off tonight, dude. This is insane.
Yeah. The Ron cast. Holy shit. Guys, Robert, thank you again for coming back to the show. Where can people find you?
On my YouTube channel.
The Knox.
Robert the Knox.
Robert Benfer. Look him up on YouTube. We're going to link to it as well.
Okay, yeah, just click the link.
You have any new sketches coming out?
I got 4 sketches that I need to edit, and the Ruckus is in one of them.
That's
that we
right.
filmed like 10 months ago.
Yeah.
And he's also...
Yeah, the Ruckus sketch is really
He's
good.
in like the last 4 videos that I've put out.
That's fantastic.
And I have... I got 4 videos I need to edit.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and they're all going to come out.
Good.
They're going to be out this month.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Check that out.
And
all 4 of them.
And Nick, where can people find you?
Just follow me on @Nik Oldershaw at Twitter, and check out Coward Hour @Coward Hour Podcast.
Coward Hour is a hilarious name for a podcast. How many episodes have you guys done?
We just did our 7th episode. It's coming out next week.
Okay, so
it's new.
Assuming that you still have a lot of tragedy to talk about in your
we have
lives.
so much.
Yeah.
There's more tragedy every week, basically.
Don't we all? And just in at the buzzer, we do have a vote for Taylor in the chat room. Tim did type in the first 16 digits of pi. There we go. 1 vote for Taylor. Anyway, guys, I guess I'm the better journalist. I want to thank Rob and Nick for coming into the show. Thank you to
myself,
to the Rear Admiral of Tangents, Ron Babcock.
Donate blood.
Good night. Donate blood.
Thank you to everyone for listening in the super chat, but most of all, You're welcome.
Goodbye.
I really, really, really like how the first Babcock tip was all about balls. Fuck whale.
And here's one last one.
Hey, Madcap. Fucking.
Just a screw up.
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye. Madcast Media Network.